ready to start, but feel free to let it run. Welcome to the 43rd episode of the Daft Previews podcast. As we normally do, I suggest and strongly encourage that you follow us everywhere you possibly can. Get us on Dabble, Facebook, Instagram, subscribe on YouTube if that's where you're listening and watching us. If you want to join our wonderful Discord channel, the link is in the description wherever you are listening. To kick things off, we'll kick it off with our best bets for those of you who just want to take these down and yeet right out. We're previewing Magic Round in the NRL, massive showcase for the sport. I've got 4 best bets for you this week, starting off with the Brisbane Broncos to cover the line against Manly, 3.5. I've got the Dragons to cover 1.5 points against the Gold Coast Titans, the Parramatta Eels to cover 2.5 points against the Sydney Roosters, and the North Queensland Cowboys to cover 9.5 points against the Tigers. Lucas, welcome to you, big man.
Cheers, mate. How are you?
Fucking flying, mate. What
Magic Round.
Magic Round. You're going, right? How
I
keen?
am going. I'm so keen. Friday morning or up there, and then I'll be back Monday. So going to go into a lot of football. Can't wait.
Can't wait. Well, give us your best bets. What do you got for this week?
Similar to you, I've got Brisbane to cover the line against Manly on Friday night. Saturday, I've got St. George to cover the line also. And then also on Saturday, I've got actually Souths to cover the line against the Warriors, so -6.5. Sharks then on Sunday to cover the line -10.5 against the Raiders at the moment. So all up there, you get about 13.50 for a multi.
Ooh, this could be the week. We both went 3 from 1 last week.
Yeah,
3 and 1. Sorry.
Para played well, to be honest. So that was my losing leg. But tipping Penrith, so I'm staying away from Penrith this week.
Yeah, mine was a bit more heartbreaking than that. It's the last leg that fucked me. I just had Xavier Coates to score a try in the first half. Didn't score at all. Melbourne polled on 40 points. He didn't get one. Absolutely devastating. And it was one of those legs we couldn't hedge it.
Yeah.
So no hedge available. So I've learned from that. No try scorers this week. Straight into the best bets. But last week we had the D-Gens of the Discord in. It was a massive hit last week. Young Lockie shared 3 tips. I think one of them got up. It was just, I think one of his double ups got up.
Yeah, he did.
So
he is also watching live in the chat. So well done, Lockie, on last week's efforts.
Well done, Lockie. We see you. And not a fat donut. So D-Gens of the Discord did well. We did scoop a little bit more units, but hey, it is a competition and you should have done better. But it won't be the last time. We've got a new D-Gen of the Discord coming in today. Lockie actually nominated him last week. It's Uncle Camo. So bring him in, Luke.
Here he is.
Fellas.
Hey!
How are we?
Bloody excellent. How are you? You feeling nervous?
Always.
You got a lot of eyes on you, mate. Lockie spoke you up last week.
Yeah, of course he would. He's a good man.
Rumor has it you had to take a certain extremity out of his mouth so you could participate in today's podcast. Is that true?
Oh, he wishes. Yeah. He's always in me DMs, that bloke.
So you're a big NRL fan, is that right?
Oh, debatable, but got into it this year. much to your help, I reckon. Got into it this year.
Just a bit, mate. I want to give you a special shout out for winning in NRL Fantasy last week.
Oh, yeah, that was quite a good game, mate.
You pipped a legend.
Yeah, came up against you. Had a bloke that got 5 points and still beat you, so...
Yeah, it seems like a theme. Lockie got me the week prior and he turned up. I wonder who I'm taking on this week. They might be on next week. We'll see. But
well, I get to play Lockie this week, and I know he's erect about that. So,
so Cameron, let's get through this. I know you prepared for a few questions.
Yeah, mate.
But I know that you were prepared, so I've prepared a few others.
Oh, that's what I like to hear.
Before we hear about your bets, hit you with a nice sausage and potatoes, nice and simple. How'd you find the Daft Previews Discord channel?
Well, I was in one myself with bloke, and you popped in there and gave me the invite link, and just decided to pop in, help out, and yeah, you said I was a good tipster, so yeah, here we are.
Extremely aroused.
Yeah.
And what do you
Always.
like about the Discord channel, and why should people join it?
I like everything. Everyone's good value, especially War Mummy. That's what we call them these days. Yeah, just
Is
banners.
Mummy listening? You want to give Mummy a special shout out?
Yeah, always. War Mummy's a top bloke, and you can always know you're going to get abused from him no matter what happens.
I saw you speaking to him today about the fishing.
Yeah.
Fishing out in Melbourne.
Yeah, fishing's good in Melbourne. He seems to nibble a lot.
Well, let's get straight into the punting. All right. So you're representing the DGens of the Discord. Lockie got one bet right last week.
Oh,
Gave us
nice.
3. You got one right. He
Yep.
didn't outperform us, but he gave it a good crack.
No one can outperform you boys.
Nah, you can try.
Yeah, do me
But
best.
what have you got? What have you got for us, Uncle Camo?
We've taken Manly at positive 4.5 because I reckon Broncos are in good form. As Lockie said last week, your boys just looking top shape. And I reckon Bulldogs 1 to 12. That's $2.95 in itself. I reckon Addo Carr's going to come in with a brace. South Sydney Rabbitohs to win head to head and 3.5. And that multi that to $10.
That's pretty juicy. Do you have any insights as to why those legs will hit?
Well, they're all in good form lately, and obviously anything can happen. But the last time that they played each other, they all won those games convincingly. So apart from Storm, they're going to keep this one a nail biter, I reckon.
That's going to be a great game. I've chosen not to bet on that game. Just going to enjoy the spectacle. But being a fellow degenerate, I'll lay something on before it to make it a little bit more entertaining, but I really shouldn't.
Yeah, no, we already know you will be.
Oh, yeah. We've got to put it out there for the punters.
Yeah, bloody oath.
I've got a question for you then.
Yeah, mate.
Moving away from punting, more into the Discord channel. You're probably prepared for this one. Who's your favourite member and why?
Favourite member and why? Oh, I reckon it's got to be Garth.
Garth.
Garth Hobbo, you know him.
Yeah.
He's basically like my brother. Everything we say at the same time. He's a fellow ranger, like Luke and I.
There's quite a few of them. I'm surrounded by them.
Quite a few blood nuts. You already know it. Yeah.
And who's your least favourite member and why?
Oh, it's got to be Easy Money, you know.
Easy Money.
Yeah, he's flexing in all his photos. He's simping on Sonia in every chat. No matter where she is, he is always. It's like taking a dog for a walk, mate.
He's a fellow LeBron fan. I thought he'd be one of your faves.
No, mate. He's a Hawthorn supporter, and bloke's got rocks in his head.
He's a big bloke, though.
Yeah, I know. It's all those steroids he's on, mate.
Has them for breakfast.
Yeah, I reckon.
Camo, what's your biggest win on the punt?
Biggest win? 1.2 grand, I reckon. There's on a $19 Black Book horse I have. Chucked a $50 bonus on it and pushed out to $22 and yeah, came in.
Tell us about the run. What do you remember about the run?
Oh, Will John, that's the name of the horse. Don't worry, I've watched it about 5 times.
Where was it at? Where's it racing at?
Warrnambool. Yeah, tracked down along the outside of the horses, 3,200 metre race, and got the chockies while I was driving, so even better.
And how'd you spend your winnings? You give it back?
Yeah, of course. No hesitation, mate, of course.
Another one about a certain liquid. So you're at the pub from what, Wednesday to Sunday? Like, what's your routine here?
Thursday to Sunday, mate. Just
sorry.
No sleep between.
Thursday to Sunday. So my question is, what's your favourite beer and why is it VB?
Well, it's not VB. It's actually 4X at the moment because it's
it's
the easiest thing to drink. It doesn't.
It is pretty easy.
Doesn't give you a hangover.
That's my plan of attack on Saturday because obviously going to all the games. Get on the 4X early, otherwise I'll be done by the Titans game anyway.
No, they're good. Bloody easy to drink. $6 a pint here, so
get that. $6.
Cheap
yeah,
petrol.
Yeah, it tastes like it too.
Yeah, I've bought it a few times, but it's frowned upon in the eastern state of New South Wales. You can't drink 4X here.
We've got a beer here called Bush Chook, so EMU export. Yeah, it's debatable if that's good or not, but sort of the Aussies drink, WA boys.
There's actually a couple questions in the chat here. Can't ignore. First,
All right, jump
Dan,
into
you
it.
got
What-
one. How old is Daft? Said
How old?
Delta Oscar.
Fucking Dane.
He's on the Sims for Sonia too.
Oh, he's a Sonny Sim.
Yeah.
I actually turned 32 on Sunday.
How old?
How old?
There you go. We didn't have any other questions. We just had people calling out the Carlton Blues hat.
Yeah, mate.
Lockie's onto it. He thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah, up the Blues.
And Benny Ball said go the Blues.
Yeah.
Benny Bell should have said Benny Ball. I don't know
Okay.
who that is.
Benny's balls.
Benny's Balls. Last Kai. There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's who he is.
Up, yeah. So that was the only question
Yeah. I just wanted
about my
to know
fucking
how old
age.
you were. Yeah.
How old?
How old? Pretty old.
Yeah.
All right, Camo, tell us about the last time you were in love.
Last time I was in love. Oh, it's just today, mate. As soon as I opened this and saw you on the screen.
That's a good response.
Yeah.
That is a good answer.
I've got no comeback for it. Tell us about your education. How far did you go?
How far did I go? Past school, finished in year 12.
Year 12. There you go.
Yeah, did nothing afterwards. Just horticulture certificates and so on.
So you're laying turf. Is that
Laying turf, doing that. All the ducks nuts around that business.
And what did you want to be when you grew up? Surely it's not a turf layer.
Wanted to be an AFL player, but then that went well, didn't it?
Mate, you're still young.
I spend most of the time at the pub watching the AFL. I don't think I'll be picked now.
So what sports do you play?
Basketball, soccer, touch rugby. Yeah, just a couple.
And what are you good at though?
Well, soccer, basketball, those two, not very good. Touch rugby because don't have the best ankles for it, but
Not a fan of being touched, I see.
no, mate.
And who do you want to see in the podcast next week?
Oh, it's got to be Garth.
Garth.
Garth, yeah.
Do you reckon
Garth
Garth will show up? He won't get stage fright?
No, he's a blood nut. He'll be here.
He's a blood nut.
Just keep the streak happening.
Yeah, I reckon. He's going to have to find another ranger and he'll bring him on.
I'm sure there's plenty. Shout out to all your rangers in the Discord. Even all those who's sitting in the Shadowland, just watching, listening.
Just getting
Not
on the
getting
tips
a month.
without saying anything.
Luke, have you got any questions for Camo?
No, I think you asked all of them. You're in WA.
Yeah, mate.
What's it like living outside of Australia?
So, well, it's living in the bloody past, as you guys keep saying.
Yeah, you're right. 9 o'clock where you guys are at the moment.
Yeah, 904, mate.
Yeah, fair enough. What car do you drive?
A Skoda.
Skoda?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I'm not put you down as a Skoda man.
Yeah, Skoda.
Yeah, I was expecting some type of ute.
So was I, yeah.
No. Just get A to B and it's good.
A to B,
Cheapest thing of
baby.
Yeah, cheapest thing of fuel and then you'll be right.
You're damn straight it is.
Yeah.
All right, Camo, I've got no other questions for you, but have you got any for us?
Well, I've got another 2 bets for you.
Hey!
Yeah, I just took a $2.20 head-to-head multi for you.
Yeah.
Got the Cowboys, Sharks, and Rabbitohs all to win.
Absolute locks.
No reasoning, just because they're favourites, you know.
That'll do. That's,
Just thought I'd throw that one out there.
don't think we have reasons.
Yeah, and then I've got a try scorer multi for you.
Hey!
And all 3 of these guys actually are in my fantasy team.
Here we go.
I've got
Nice.
Adokar, got Teddy, and Tano Milne, how we say it.
That's right.
Yeah, and then all those boys, and that's $10 multi again. Just for 3 guys.
Got some stiff competition this week, Luke.
Dude, Delta in the chat said Dragons 13 plus, kick W.
Well, I reckon Teddy, because he got 2 against you, Daft, when I was versing you, mate. He got me a cracking 82 points.
Yep.
Pretty much put the lock on the game.
He did, bastard. He's in fine form. Adokar's finding his feet too.
Adokar had 2 disallowed tries last week.
Yeah. Don't worry, I've got $10 in all of these, so if I win, I win. If not, don't win.
Back into Skoda we go.
Yeah, back in the Skoda. Back to work for a week.
Back to work for the week. Well, Camo, speaking of work, Luke and I are going to get to it, but appreciate having you on.
Thanks for having me.
I'm sure it won't be the last time.
No, I doubt it.
Hopefully not. See you on the battlefield on Fortnite, mate.
I'll see you on the battlefield, mate.
See you,
Yeah.
mate.
Catch you later.
See you, guys.
See ya.
How about that?
Some value there in those bets.
Just
We'll
a bit of value.
We'll get them posted up in the Discord as well for those of you who weren't following along quick enough.
We'll prop those suckers out. Let's get into rapid fire. It is late. It's 11:07 out here in Sydney. Doing our best to get these bets out to you early so you got more time to place them.
We have extra day as well.
Extra day. Oh, because there's nothing on Thursday.
No, as we're about to lead into, the first game's Friday.
Oh, it's going to be such a long week. But the good thing is I'm not working this week, so probably longer for you. Well, you finish up. Oh, not a long week for you either.
No, I'm off to Queensland, so short week for me.
Let's go. Well, let's do everything short. Let's shorten this podcast up. Not going through all the dribs and drabs of every single game because I find half of them that we don't bet on anyway. So let's get straight into the juice, shall we? Kicking off on Friday, 6 p.m. Canterbury Bulldogs versus Newcastle Knights. The Dogs are the favourites at $1.71. Newcastle at $2.15. The line is 2.5. If you're looking at total points, it's 35.5. Personally, for me, I'm not touching this game. I thought about the unders, but it is magic round and stupid things can happen when two shit teams collide. Personally, I'm avoiding it. What about you?
Best thing they've done is put this game first. Get it out of the way. Shit's out of the way, and then it should be all downhill from there. So, no, I'm not going near this game because, both teams can't score at the moment. So,
leave it in the background and just have your pre-drinks. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Kicking off at 8:05, main event of the weekend, really. On Friday, it's the Manly Seagulls versus the Brisbane Broncos. Manly Seagulls $1.65 favourites. Disrespectful. Broncos at $2.25. The line is 3.5 points. Total points are 37.5. What do you think, Luke?
I like the Broncos. I said last week, I said they were value and they were very good and they won comfortably. If you got, I think 13 plus from memory was huge. I think they got $5 just to win last week, and then 13 plus would have been even bigger. So I think they're just in form at the moment, and they get Haas and Capel back. Like that's the big ins for them. And Manly for me, Turbo's back, but I'm still not convinced on that Manly team. I don't know if it's this. They did look a little bit better last week, but that was a Tigers team. They still gave up quite a fair few points. So I think I'm taking the handicap with the Bronx. I think Magic Round, obviously there's going to be a lot of traveling fans, but it's going to be a packed Suncorp. It's going to be Broncos' biggest crowd they've played in front of this year, so they're going to be up for it. Most of them are going to be Broncos fans. So I'm taking them to cover the line. I would even go the same again. I probably will put them in a multi head-to-head because I think they can win this game.
I'm backing my boys to the death. I take them head-to-head, but playing a little bit safe here, getting that 3.5 start. Olakuatu, he's back, but Jordan Ricky will shut his ass down. Okay, well, whichever side he wants to line up against, we'll shut him down. Reynolds is in fine form. Staggs defensively is fantastic, so he hasn't even unleashed the beast in attack over the last few weeks after he tamed Talakai and he calmed right down. So he's looking for another beast to tame. Unfortunately, it's not going to be Morgan Harper. He's not on his side, but really pleased with how the boys are going. Carrigan, excellent last week. Flegler, fantastic. And then you chuck in Payne Haas and Cape Well. The boys are going to be rolling to the middle. Reynolds steering the ship. Mate, last week we shouldn't even got close if you looked at the stats. Souths had better completion rate. They made a lot more meters. They had a lot more penalties, 6 agains. They had everything going their way. Just couldn't score points. It's an absolute fortress. Doesn't matter where we play. We're not letting them in. So pretty keen on my boys to cover. So yes, I'm biased, but I've been right for 3 weeks in a row. So
it's not bias anymore. It's form.
That's form, baby. Speaking of form, straight into your slutty Saturday at 3 o'clock. New Zealand Warriors versus South Sydney Rabbitohs. The Rabbitohs $1.39. The Warriors are $3. The line on sports bets moved out to 7.5. Total points you're looking at is 38.5 points. I personally don't have a play on this game. Both teams have been quite underwhelming for me. South should bounce back, but they've been quite poor all year. They have averaged the most errors out of any team in the comp, but I'm personally avoiding it. But what about you? You got some thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I've gone South to cover the line. I know Murray's out is a big loss for them, but I think Tom Burgess coming back in at prop's going to help them. I think the Warriors for me are just so leaky in defense. So that I think if you look at, you said it just before, South struggled to score against the Broncos. I actually think they're going to have a much easier time against the Warriors, which will suit them, and I think they can cover that line and bounce back. Cody Walker's actually captain. So maybe that will help. Last week he just got a bit frustrated and everything got under his skin. Whereas I think when he's got the captaincy now, he has to, mature a bit and steer the boys around. Because if he's chucking hissy fits as captain, it's not a good look. So I think that'll be a good thing for him. So I've got him to cover the line, even if you want to have a look at it anytime. I think Cody for an anytime try scorer bet is also a good shout. One thing that people have been talking about is, have they figured out South's left edge attack? If there's a team that hasn't, it probably is the Warriors. So I'm just going to back them. It's going to come off well.
So you're taking the Warriors even though Cam Murray's out?
Taking the Rabbitohs even though Cam Murray's out, correct.
But what that does do, it puts Jairo back at 13 because they've been playing him on the second row for some reason.
Correct. And I've got him in my fantasy team, so I also appreciate that move to lock because he plays better at lock.
Absolutely. All right. 5:30 on Saturday. It's the Gold Coast Titans versus St. George Illawarra Dragons. Gold Coast at $1.95. Dragons at $1.85. The money is coming in for the Dragons. It was at $1.90 each yesterday. The line is 1.5. Total points are over 38.5 points. Dragons got absolutely towed up last week. Titans have been shit all year. What do you think?
I think the Dragons have been a solid team. So if you look at that game against Melbourne last week, they actually were going with them after about 20 or so minutes, and then just a silly error, Melbourne punished them. So I think St. George are a very consistent team. They're not great. They're not bad. They're going to put up a good performance each week. So take the Melbourne game out, they've actually been pretty consistent. Playing a Titans team who are just absolute. There's a handful of teams now, and it's not the Broncos in that group for once, who are absolutely fucking dog shit, and they are one of them. I have no faith in this Titans team. I think something's got to change. I've read somewhere, it might have been Kevin Proctor, I think it was running for an average of like 15 meters a game or something. Like it was something crazy. Like their stats are so far down at the moment. So I think they cover the line. I think it's good value for the Dragons.
Yeah, if you're listening to this one, Delta, Dane, yes, I am old, but your Dragons 13 plus isn't such a bad shout this week.
I agree.
Before the Dragons got slapped by Melbourne, they won 3 straight.
Yeah, and Roosters was one of those 3. So they're not playing bad football. And I just think Melbourne aren't a form team, like a form line team. Just take them out and
And I think Melbourne up against anyone but Penrith is putting 40 points on you.
The way it's going, yes, correct.
Putting on absolutely everyone. So, I like the Dragons as well. I think they run a train on these Titan boys who don't like tackling. I like that they got a Moan back at 6. They got Bird in the second row.
Agreed.
Looking decent there for the Dragons. So, we're both keen on them. Both part of our best bets this week. So, get on the Dragons now because that line's going to move. Into the actual main event, though, of the weekend. So, for the day pass, the Saturday sold out almost immediately. Friday and Sunday still had a few tickets. You, there for all 3 days, you lucky bastard. We see the Melbourne Storm taking on the Penrith Panthers. Panthers at $1.71. Melbourne at $2.15. The line is 2.5 points. Total points is 35.5. Now, I personally don't have a bet on it, but I still got a lot of opinions. What about you?
I don't have a bet on it, just purely because I'm confident what Penrith will dish up, but I don't know what Melbourne will get without Pappenhausen, because Pappenhausen is the big loss. And if any other player was out, if Cleary was out, maybe it would, but I don't think would Melbourne be favourites with Pappenhausen? It's just weird to me to see the Melbourne Storm outsiders in an NRL game at the moment. So I'm not confident either way, just purely because Pappenhausen is scoring so many of their points. Their attack has to now change. Nick Meaney is nowhere near the level of Pappenhausen was before he got injured. So that's a big concern. Goes into Penrith, however, Penrith are coming off a loss. But I was at the game last Friday, and it was one of the best games I've seen live. That was just a brutal contest, and Para can show that's why they beat Melbourne and Penrith that they're just good when they want to be. But my gut is just take I think it's a 50-50 game and just take the outsider. So if Melbourne are outsiders when the time you put the bet on, just put it on, because I don't think you're going into that game disappointed you're getting better than $2 odds on Penrith or Melbourne in this game. So
could come down to 1 point in this game.
It could. It could, but it also, I think it's why would lean Melbourne is just as a revenge game for them, because they were beaten in the preliminary final at the same ground last year. So they might have a bit more motivation for it, whereas Penrith have the motivation of not losing 2 in a row. So tricky game, but it'll be a very good game.
Yeah, I can't wait for this one. Not going to pick a winner in it. When I'll throw a same game all together and just pick some try scorers. I think whoever's on the left wing for Melbourne, I'm going to have a taste. I think Cam Munster steps up, has a big game. No Pappy. Cam's got to step up. There's going to be some action around there. Justin Olam, I'm not too sure. But where does Penrith leak tries? If they leak them at all, it's actually on the opposite side where Tago is.
They were leaking on Tago's side, but last week Toto went that side and they moved May to the other side. So it's hard because Penrith haven't leaked a lot of points, but they don't have one area. If you look at the tries last week, there was Reed Marnie from one side, Dylan Brown from a bomb, Gutherson on the other corner. Like it wasn't. Yeah, there wasn't one side we were conceding on. So
I think Brandon Smith might be due. He hasn't scored a try in a while.
There is one thing over the last couple of years where Penrith has been caught out a few times. It is dummy half. Brandon Smith did it to us last year at Penrith, catches Dylan Edwards at mark. If Dylan Edwards is marker, Brandon Smith picks up the ball, he'll probably have a crack, because Dylan Edwards sometimes isn't paying attention to what's in front of him and he sees what's going on across from him. So
I'll get on the hooker double, I think. Hooker triple. Get all three of them.
Yeah.
We'll get Happy, Grant, Smith. Ooh.
Could be it. Could be the value.
Could be some value. Let's get into Sunday's games at 1:50 p.m. We've got Cronulla Sharks versus the Canberra Raiders. Cronulla are $1.28 favourites. Canberra at $3.75. The line is 10.5. Total points is 39.5. I'm personally not touching this one. Cronulla are without Will Kennedy, Jesse Ramian. Canberra, fuck. Is this a home game for them? I don't know who the home game's for, but they're not in Canberra, and they're absolutely atrocious away from that joint. So, but did you see Matt Frawley last week?
I did.
That's the guy I've been talking about for a year. Matt Frawley.
The Matt Frawley at Star, he didn't do that.
Nah, he was terrible in his last outing. With that one, he was absolutely cracker. But what are your thoughts on this one?
I love the Sharks at this bet. How can you not like a team? I know it was the Warriors, but they had 12 men for most of the game, 11 at some point for 10 minutes, and still pumped the Warriors. Now they're getting their full third. They're going to play with 13 players. Hopefully, they're not doing dumb again for a full game. I just think that's an easy. And as you said, Canberra are so bad. They're okay at home occasionally, but they beat the Dogs. So I'm not looking into this as the Canberra revival. And again, Dogs had 2 disallowed tries at the start of the game. Could have gone a different way if they had them allowed. So I just like the Sharks here. I think Nico Hines a fullback.
Yeah,
I think Nico Hines is a better fullback than half. I know he's playing very well, but he was so good at Melbourne Storm last year to the point where he was keeping Pappenhausen out for a lot of those games. So, I just think it's a good move. And if it's not working for Cronulla, they'll just move him into the halves and just do a shift or move the team around a little bit, which with that team, I think it's possible. You can even just put Wade Graham in the centres and move Katoa to fullback or something.
Or even Connor Tracy.
Connor Tracy, exactly, can go back there. So the team isn't locked on that. They've got so much movement in that team, and they've already proven with Talakai in the centres. And I think Talakai in the centres running at Kotrick will be a very good matchup as well.
Smash. I would have moved Moylan to fullback and kept Nico at 7.
I think his hammy is just no good for fullback.
Yeah, that's true.
Fullback, you've got to cover a lot of ground, and I just think if they kick to a corner he turns and chases. I think that's where his hammer
Yeah,
goes. So
that's a good point. Maybe even Ronaldo. Like, I would have done whatever I could to make sure Trino doesn't start
Yeah, true.
because he's not a great 7. And a lot of the backline stuff comes from Nico engages the line very well.
Yeah.
Like as a 7, he really goes in. Whereas Trindle doesn't. He goes sideways all the time.
Yeah.
Like, so he's going to cut off time for Nico, but I think he's good enough to pack the points on. But we'll see. Matt Frawley at 6, danger signs. I'm just warning you, mate. If that bid comes out to play, the Raiders might only lose by 9.
But I also think they'll be up for it after Gal gets up tomorrow as well, the Sharks. So
That's true.
And Gal will be up there, I imagine.
Mate, odds are coming in for Gal.
They are, they? What's the odds now?
I think it's about $1.60, high $1.50s, I think.
I think just purely they're basing this off the press conferences and just how this other guy doesn't say anything. So they just see Gal getting angry and angry, like, oh, he's gonna $1.56 on Sportsbet. Oh, Gal's gonna knock him out because he's so angry and stuff. But
yeah, well, Gal's trying to promote the fight.
He makes, to be fair, I know this isn't a boxing, but he makes some great. I don't agree with Gal a lot, and obviously he's drug cheat, but his points about boxing promotions are bang on. These people bitch and moan about, oh, we don't get paid and all this. Like, sell yourselves. Like, it's boxing, it's promoting. Like, so I agree with why he's angry.
Let's ride with Gal. Just take the 3 favourites tomorrow night. Gal, Goodman, and Garside. Just take them all. Take them all. I think it's like $2.06 now, but it's dropping. It's $2.20.
Nikita Zoo?
And Nikita, sorry. Yeah. Get all the faves.
$1.05. Fucking hell.
Yeah. All the faves. Just chuck them in. Let's talk footy. 4:05 Sunday is the Roosters versus the Parramatta Eels. The Eels are $1.65 favourites. Roosters $2.25. The line is 2.5. Total points are 40.5. I'm leaning on Parramatta to cover this one. They were fantastic last week. Still not sold on the Roosters. They've been quite underwhelming. And I think their game against the Titans last week, that was just awful. The Titans were so bad.
Yeah.
They were terrible. Teddy's playing good, but still I think he's the only one really performing at the moment. Whereas for the Eels, just across the park, you've got Gutho's playing well. Dylan Brown's playing good. Moses, that right leg of his is making him a lot of money. And he's making it sing, baby. So, no, I'm really liking Parramatta. I think they're a contender this year. I don't think they can go all the way, but I think they'll be up there. What do you think?
I don't have them as a best bet, but I do like the Parra 2.5. The only reason why I don't have them as a best bet is I'm worried Parra, that performance last week showed Parra not going to get up for every game. There's like, how can you go from what you put up against the Tigers, the Cowboys, to go to Penrith and absolutely take it to them and some more, and do it earlier in the season against Melbourne? So there's a problem with consistency for Parra, and this could be their letdown spot. The Roosters, on the other hand, have this game to look forward to, but then the following week they play Penrith. So they've got some tricky games coming up, and then the Sharks straight after. So I'm worried that this is a letdown spot for Parra after Friday. Friday night was, and that's another reason why I didn't like Penrith too much, was Friday night was a battering of a game. Like, it was brutal, some of those hits. Like the forwards, you could hear it in the stadium. It was ridiculous. And Penrith are running up against a Melbourne team who've just been doing training drills for the last month. The Roosters had an absolute fucking shit show against the Titans. So them two are going to be fresher. That's my only worry. But I probably would put Parra in a multi at some point for sure.
I'd love to see the stats for a team that's going to be versing Penrith next, because so many people look ahead to that game. Part of the reason why Parramatta collapsed, they were looking to that Penrith game. And
100%.
Ripped for it. So
it's a good point. But then also look at the stats of teams after they play Penrith, because if you look at those there, it's actually quite interesting. From memory off the top of my head now, when we played the Knights in round 3, they were undefeated. Everyone's hyping them up, and they still had a good game despite going down to 12 men with Barnett. They still scored 20 points, but since then, nothing. They've fucking done nothing. You know, that was like it. The Souths game, same thing. The Dogs. Even when I think maybe you guys might have been the exception there. But the Titans played better against Penrith, lost 18-4 at home, and then absolutely terrible the week after. So I think from memory, you guys are probably the exception to that rule, where we beat you, but then the next week you guys won. So
I hear exactly what you're saying, but Parramatta only loses to shit teams.
Okay, Roosters aren't a shit team. Okay.
If you're in the bottom 8, you're a chance to beat Para.
It's a fair
The Roosters have a big name.
Also, just one other little stat on that. Para this year have gone win, loss, win, 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 then gone loss, win, loss, win. That's the consistency, mate.
So
they
now
have one more. They go for this.
Straight.
They win 2 straight. It's their best run this season. They have won more than 2 games in a row. That's So
here we go, Para fans. Buckle up. I'm riding with you.
Nah, respect.
Closing out Magic Round Sunday. It's 6:25. It's the West Tigers versus the North Queensland Cowboys. Cowboys are $1.31 favourites. The Tigers at $3.50. The line is 9.5. Total points we're looking at 40.5. What are your thoughts on this one?
Haven't got a bet on it, and Cowboys should win, but I'm just worried that the Tigers are Magic Round historically. Tigers, I remember pumped Penrith a few years ago. Like my first Magic Round, sorry. They absolutely murdered us up there at Suncorp. And then a couple years ago, they put on a score against the Knights, I don't know if you recall, because Vossi was commentating, and they kept saying Madge wishes it was Magic Round every year. For some reason, Tigers and Magic Round are pretty good. It's 2 from 2. And that's my only worry. I don't know why, because I remember they went to that Penrith game. We were like favorites.
Is that when the crowd was giving it to you?
Yeah, and they were up 20-0 in 20 minutes, and it was over at halftime, and I still had a great weekend. But then a couple of years ago, they played the Knights, and the first half, all of a sudden, Luke Brooks was like Dally M halfback of the year form. It was insane. And I remember Vossi harping on about Magic Record hopes, wish it was Magic Round every year. So that was my only worry. I didn't take the Cowboys. It's weird, but for some reason, Tigers like going to Suncorp with Magic Round.
That's a fair point. I think Magic Round for the Tigers came early. We've seen their best. I don't think they improved much from those 2 wins that they had. I think they're back to being the shit pricks that they are. Play a little bit better, they compete, but the Cowboys are putting it on teams at the moment. I think they're a team that's going to peak early. They're peaking now. I think they run a train on these, because the Cowboys like playing at Suncorp too. They blitzed my boys a few times there.
It's true.
Hometown heroes, but no, I really like the Cowboys and everything that they're doing. I can't fault them at the moment. I think the only way they lose is if Nanai has an absolute shocker and Townsend goes missing. But I don't see that happening against the Tigers. Tigers are very predictable in how they play. They compete hard, but the Cowboys are competing harder than most at the moment. So I do like them to cover, and they're going to be my last leg. And look, if I hit all my first 3, good opportunity to hedge finally. Fuck me. Last week killed me, but no, I'm all on the Cowboys for this one. Didn't put too much thought into it. Saw the Tigers, despite their recent success. In my mind, they're still a shit team. So taking the Cows, best team in Queensland. Can you believe that? No,
very
Jonathan
brave.
Burke.
They're 2-2 in Magic Round.
Throw form out the window. I don't care about that shit. I'm all about vibe and energy.
Sure.
And the Cowboys have this aura just radiating off them. So that's why I'm taking. Quick recap of our best bets. I've got the Broncos plus 3.5, the Dragons to cover, Parramatta to cover, and the Cowboys to cover. I'm getting $13.44. Power play that up to $15.59 if you're keen. I think these will be some of the popular options from the weekend. So these lines are going to move. Maybe the Parramatta one will stay still, but I think the Dragons one is already coming in.
Yeah.
I guess the Broncos aren't being disrespected as much. There's a lot of news about how their form's going, and everyone knows about the Cowboys. And like me, haven't forgotten about the failures of the Tigers for the last few years. So I believe those lines are going to move. Quick recap on yours.
Yeah, Brisbane plus 3.5, Dragons minus 1.5, Souths minus 6.5, and Sharks minus 10.5 for $13.40. I just think I like those bets. So
it's coming home, baby. Well, thank you all for tuning in, listening live if you did. If you're listening to us on Spotify, your Discord links in the description, as well as Apple Podcasts. If you are on YouTube, what's that thing that they always say? Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Discord link is also in the description. I'm going to love yous and leave yous.
Cheers, guys.